TCU! It's the 2009 edition, y'all. This is Steve 8, and I'm chilling with my boy Cartab. About to share to crank that horn frog. Andy Dalton is the star. Got red hair and can't throw far. Watch me crank that Andy D and Super Frog that TCU. Crank that horn frog. You crank that horn frog. You crank that horn frog. You crank that horn frog. Christian dodging that man into the end zone. He just ran. Watch me crank that Alito boy and Super Frog that TCU. Crank that horn frog. You crank that horn frog. You crank that horn frog.
You crank that horn frog. Well. It's time. Big 12, baby. Big 12. We're back. Big 12 football. No more Texas. No more Oklahoma. The so-called blue bloods are all gone. This is the most wide open Power 4 conference heading into 2025, ladies and gentlemen. The Big 12, it's the true Wild Wild West. We'll get into all of that on the other side of the intro.
You're tuned in to the Red Zone Blitz.
Here we go.
The home for all things NFL and college football.
Ready?
I think our intro was remixed with the TCU. But hey, that's the type of episode we're running. It's the Big 12. They've taken over. Thank you guys all for tuning in to our episodes. We're doing a blitz. We're providing you a conference preview of the Power 4. My name's G.
Brandon, what's up?
And Matthew, what's up, everybody?
You guys should know us by now. We host the Red Zone Blitz. If you guys want to follow us on the socials, Red Zone Blitz Pod at X, Instagram, and TikTok. You guys want to write to us, redzonblitzpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, we cannot thank you guys enough for all the support you guys have been showing, not just our episodes, but our Instagram content, our X content. You guys have been awesome. It's been a great time. We're here to talk about all things Big 12. So like I said, no Texas, no Oklahoma, Blue Bloods are all gone. This is the most wide open conference that there is right now, I think, in football. Before we go into the actual nitty-gritty of things, I think it's only right we go through the teams that are involved. You have the Arizona State Sun Devils, defending champions. You got the Arizona Wildcats, their neighbors. BYU Cougars. Hello, how are you? A team on the rise. The Baylor Bears that have never really done anything with their lives. They're very synonymous with just letting other teams have record-breaking performances against them. Shedeur Sanders threw probably the best career game of his life. The reason why Shedeur Sanders is probably in the NFL is Baylor. Shout out Baylor. Cincinnati Bearcats. A lot of Bears in this conference. Colorado Buffaloes. Coach Prime is back. That a lot of people did not expect. They expected him to walk away. Shout out Coach Prime. We're so super dope. He recovered cancer, did this thing. He's back coaching the Colorado Buffaloes. They are missing Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. What that team looks like without him, we'll wait to see, but it's a huge hole that they're missing there. You got the Houston Cougars. That's right. You got two Cougars in the same conference. It's a MILF bar. Iowa State Cyclones.
Rocco.
I don't know. We can call them Cyclones just yet. Shout out Rocco. Rocco the man. They took down Kansas State today in a wild Week 0 matchup in Dublin, Ireland. Shout out Iowa State. You got Kansas. What is that the music I hear? That's a basketball school now suddenly investing in football. Yep, Kansas playing Fresno. They're getting done. They're getting it done. Kansas State Wildcats took a loss in Dublin. We talked about that. Not a great look. Oklahoma State Cowboys, home to Ollie Gordon. Not home anymore, but shout out to the Oklahoma State Cowboys. TCU Horned Frogs, you guys know that's what we started with. That's where we're going. And the Texas Tech Red Raiders, who invest all their money into their football team now. They have all the engineers of the Southern United States throwing in their extra funds into the Red Raiders. The UCF Knights, the Utah Utes, and the West Virginia Mountaineers. There's your Big 12. Now, let's get right into it. The Big 12 is wide open. There's no clear alpha dog. Vegas is 5 teams bunched between 550 and 650 to win it. That's pure chaos to me. Like 5 teams that have a chance to win it. That's insane.
Love to see it.
You've got Arizona State, Utah, Kansas State, Iowa State, and Texas Tech all in the mix there. Parity's fun, obviously, for fans. Fans love it. But does the Big 12 lose credibility nationally, boys, if there's no powerhouse?
A little. I mean, losing Texas and Oklahoma are huge, right?
Yeah, that's a big loss.
2 huge programs. So now it's who wants to become Texas and Oklahoma? You know, like you said, Texas Tech is starting to spend that money. So are they trying to become Texas? Arizona State, you know, they went from a nobody to all of a sudden coming out of nowhere.
They won. Shout out Cam Scatabo.
Everyone was predicting them to finish last or at least near the bottom last year. And they came out and, I mean, they balled out.
Hey, we love that. The other side of the coin is this exactly what makes the Big 12 dangerous? No guaranteed wins, no easy path for playoff committees to ignore. I would say that's probably where I land. I think this is a conference like, okay, yes, they don't have the bright lights on them. Like there's not the SEC banner under them. However, there's going to be some crazy games, and we'll talk about some key games to watch and key players to watch, but there's going to be some crazy games going into it. And a big team to follow this year is Arizona State. They're the defending Big 12 champions. They're fresh off a college football playoff run. 79% of their production's coming back. Sam Levitt is back, along with 9 defensive starters. Now, this is when Arizona State can take themselves to the next level. Everyone's seen them do it once. It's a Cinderella story. If they do it again, now we're talking. Now this is an actual football team.
Well, we had the intro a few weeks ago. Coach wasn't happy.
No, he was not happy. And I think that's what that's what drives them, is that consistent, like, hey, we got to reach a certain pedigree every single practice, every single snap, every drive in order to win this thing again. And I think their goal should be higher than to just win the Big 12. I don't think they should be satisfied with like, okay, we've won the Big 12. That's great. We hit it. That's all we need to do. Let's make some noise nationally. Let's make some noise where it really matters. You know what? They're the safe pick to win. Man, the Red Raiders. Oh man, they're looking good. Texas Tech has raised $63 million since 2022, with $55 million coming in active NIL contracts. That's a massive, massive amount of money that they've brought in, especially their defense. Their defense is funded and they're ready to play. Now, I guess I'll pose this question to you, Matthew. If you had that fun, right, and Texas Tech chose to throw it into defense, would you throw defense or offense?
I would throw it in defense, 100%. This was a top offense last year in the Big 12. It was one of the worst, if not the worst, defensive team in the Big 12 last year.
They can't play defense.
They can't play. They
don't know how to do that.
They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. It was they were great on offense, but one-dimensional, one side of the ball is not gonna get you over the edge. You know, Arizona State, yeah, they are defending. They're running a pistol scheme, though. I don't know how that's gonna look without Scatabo in the backfield. So
that's a huge loss. People aren't making a big of a deal. Like Cam Scatabo was a big part of that offense for Arizona State. So it's a huge, huge loss that they're losing.
Now, with that being said, they are spending their money. I mean, like you just mentioned, they've got a ton of money invested. They're trying to be the big dog in that league maybe now.
Yeah.
Now, they went out and they sniped 5-star offensive lineman Felix Ojo. He was crystal ball to go to Texas. And when he did his commitment, I believe the 3 hats in front of him were Texas, Florida, I want to say Ohio State. It might have been Michigan. Anyways,
yeah,
he was crystal ball to go to Texas. Out of nowhere, during his commitment, he pulls out a Texas Tech hat, and everyone was like, what the fuck?
What is wrong with you, sir?
Then it comes out that they, last minute, offered him the NIL money, guaranteed $5.1 million over 3 years. So, of course, they sniped. They're spending the money. And then they also just got in, I think he's the 2027 prospect, but 5-star edge, LaDainian Guyton. And I believe he is their highest recruit of all time. So they had to have given him some money for that. So,
oh man, they're buzzing, man. They're buzzing. Texas Tech is right there. You mentioned a great player there. Going into players that you need to watch for the Big 12, Sam Leavitt. We talked about him. Leader of the reigning champs. Offensively, Dillingham's squad returns maybe the best quarterback in the conference in Sam Leavitt. By the end of 2024, Leavitt was one of the best QBs in America and absolutely balling out in their Big 12 championship victory and overtime playoff loss to Texas. But Scatabo was so good in the run game that we'll have to see how good Leavitt can go when defenses scheme more for the pass game now that Scatabo's not there anymore. Leavitt still got one of the best receivers in the country to throw in Jordan Tyson and good protection up front with 4 returners coming back on the offensive line. The RB room they need to find themselves another running back that's going to catch a bottle like genie in a bottle. Yeah, catch a genie in a bottle. Lightning in a bottle, genie in a bottle. Yeah, something like that. In a bottle. And like, you know what, take their team over the edge. So I would say like Sam Leavitt, definitely somebody to watch out for. You talked about it. Texas Tech. They're a powerhouse. I love defense. I love watching defensive side of the football. Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker for Texas Tech. One defender to circle in the Big 12 this year is Jacob. He's coming off a monster season with 127 tackles, 10.5 tackles for loss, and 5 sacks, and he was named the conference's preseason defensive player of the year. He's the type of player who just always finds the football, whether it's blowing up a run play, chasing down a quarterback, or setting the tone with physicality. He's a senior leader at that Texas Tech defense, and he's going to return. That also returns a lot of other talent. So the Red Raiders are going to make some noise in this conference. Key name to keep an eye on is Jacob Rodriguez.
Yeah, and actually to add to that Texas Tech Raiders defense, they went out and got a lot of transfers to load up that defense, especially with David Bailey transfers from Stanford. So 2 seniors now in the linebacker position for the Texas Tech Red Raiders with Jacob Rodriguez and David Bailey. So look for that defense to actually make some plays.
And the final player, we saw him live. We had the privilege and honor of watching Josh Hoover from TCU, Horned Frogs, go out and ball out actually against Oklahoma State. If you're looking for a breakout quarterback in the Big 12, Josh Hoover might be your best bet. He was thrown into the fire last season after injuries and showed flashes of real upside. He finished nearly 3,000 passing yards and double-digit touchdowns in limited action. He's got a cannon of an arm, and he plays with confidence. He's now got the full offseason under him, so he can learn Kendall Briles' up-tempo system. Hoover isn't just a placeholder, though. He's got all the tools to make TCU a dangerous offense again, and he could quickly rise into the upper tier of Big 12 quarterbacks if he takes that next step. So I'm excited to see what not just Josh Hoover, but TCU does in general. But he's definitely going to be a big component on if TCU makes some noise this year.
You know who else could be a player to watch?
Yeah.
So Colorado.
Of course.
No Shedeur.
No Shedeur, no Travis.
Out of the whole team, I'm kind of looking, and I see a lot of transfers on that team.
Yeah.
Caden Salter.
Okay.
QB coming over from Liberty. As a betting man, I love Caden Salter. He won me a lot of money as a quarterback.
There you go.
Liberty. So I don't know much about Colorado, what they're going to be doing this year, but I am going to be watching Caden Salter. He hasn't been named the starting quarterback yet, but I think he should be, just the amount of experience he has.
I'm a big primetime guy. So for me, it's like if primetime blesses you, he wants you to come and play on his football team. You've got some things. You've got some slings. I know Brandon just said betting. And you know what? We're coming out soon. Yes, the Red Zone Blitz. Should we announce it, boys?
Let's go.
All right. So the Red Zone Blitz is we are officially signing with Underdog Fantasy Sports as our premier betting partner. We'll be bringing in some segments with them in the new year as we go into the upcoming NFL and college football season. Now, that is a huge win for us. I
Absolutely.
have never dreamt of times like this. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. We also have, you know what, as a surprise to you guys, we interviewed a football player, man. We interviewed a guy that played for the UNC Pembroke, Jarius Gordon. Why don't, before we go into the rest of the episode, why don't we throw it over to him, catch a quick interview with him. He's currently an undrafted free agent. He played defensive line for UNC Pembroke. We talk a little bit about his journey, about how he got to where he is, and what's next in store for Jarius. So I'm going to throw it over to that interview, and we'll be right back. All right. We are very excited to be joined by our first football player. Jarius Gordon joins us, defensive lineman. I played college out in UNC Pembroke. Jarius, how's it going, brother? How you doing?
Everything going good, man. How about yourself?
Good. I know week 0 started off today. A lot of people are excited about college football. Being in college football, we'll get into that, what it was like playing college ball. But first of all, tell us where it all began. How'd you get into football? Is there anybody out that you'd like to thank or give a shout out to when you were growing up? Where are you from? All that sort of stuff.
Okay, my name is Jarius Gordon. I'm from Estill, South Carolina. It's like a small town type of town. Like you and your family, y'all going on like a little family vacation, and y'all pass through to get gas and snacks and stuff like that on y'all stop on your way to your destination.
Gotcha.
I started playing football at 6 years old. My uncle, he actually was one of the coaches for for the older kids in the Part 1, before you can move on and play middle school or JV.
Yeah.
So he was the ones that got me into it. I was a pretty big kid growing up. So he was like, yeah, you got to get that boy into some sports so he can be soft. So in our town, it's kind of like I said, it's a small town. Ain't pretty much nothing to do. So it gave me something to do every Saturday, look forward to something. Then ever since then, I just continued with it and fell in love with it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. What was the recruiting process like? So how were colleges coming down and watching you play every Friday or Saturday? Or what was that like?
Recruiting was kind of difficult because I was coming from a small town.
Yeah.
Like I played 1A public school ball, and my senior year I transferred to a private school, but that was also 1A. Then I was coming out of high school. I graduated high school in 2020, so I was around COVID and all. Yeah. So it was kind of it was kind of different than other recruits and stuff, how their experiences. Mine was it was more me, my family, my mother. She was helping me as well. Emailing and inboxing coaches on Twitter, trying to get their attention. So it was kind of kind of a struggle. Really.
Gotcha. When you got to college, obviously, this is something that I think everybody who hasn't played college ball or any sort of college sports always wants to know is like, how hard was that adjustment going to college for that first year? And then also, how did you juggle kind of football and college? Also, like school, that's also a big part of it. You got to maintain a GPA, you got to do that thing. How'd you manage to keep that balance? And do you have any tips for people that are in college right now that are, or maybe headed to college in September, that are first year athletes?
Yeah, when it comes to that, you just got to, like you said, just manage your time wisely. Like, if any time you have some downtime trying to work on your schoolwork and get some studying in, like any type of downtime, like if you so I know sometimes, like for me, sometimes classes got canceled. So I use that time to get some workout, or it might be bad weather and practice get moved to a little later. You might have a little extra hour or two. Then I start on my work for whatever I had to do later on that night. But yeah, just time management is your best friend. You got to, because if not, it's gonna be a hard adjustment because you're gonna have more than lives. Some days you're gonna have to be up. Like I had to get up like 5 in the morning. Then I had class at 8. Then I had a position meeting at 11. Then I had class, another class. Then it was time for practice in the afternoon around 3:30, 3 o'clock. So it's like basically being an athlete is pretty much your day is pretty planned out for you. It's just how you manage your time is on you.
Gotcha. Is there a play or a game or a moment throughout your college career that you're like, hey, that was like one of my favorite moments, the most memorable, or something that stands out to you? It may not have to be a big highlight play, but just personally for you, you're like, that was my big moment that I felt like, damn, like I really did that.
I would say my this past season, which was my last season when I played at UNCP. I played 4 years at Erskine College prior to them. So I would say this past season, there was one game. I can't remember the team name right off the top of my head, but basically on the play, I got back, I got cleared through free, and I was attempting to make the tackle. Then I missed. It was so happy my teammates then when they did their job, and he ended up bouncing back to where I was. So I got off the ground and made the tackle for loss still. So for me, that kind of displayed like how I was a player. Like I'm a relentless every play, hustle, getting after the ball each play. So that kind of explains me in a nutshell when I'm on the field.
Gotcha. And I know you're busy, so I've got just a couple more questions for you. You're undrafted. The route is open. You're working incredibly hard. I follow you on social media, Instagram and Twitter. What's the next step? What's the next plan? How are you keeping yourself active? How are you keeping yourself fit? And are you open to kind of any football right now, like CFL, UFL, NFL? Are you open to all three? What's the kind of the plan going forward? So if there are any coaches listening, they can chime in and they can maybe reach out to you.
Or I'm pretty much open to anything right now. Training wise, I have been, I got training I'm back at home now. Now I'm not at college, but
yeah,
training each and every day. Having a specific thing I need to work on. Watching my game, watching some of the plays. I make highlights and a couple of clips I saved from college that I know I didn't do well on, and working on my scrims, strengthening my scrims, working on my weaknesses, turn them to scrims.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to be an overall better player. You never in your final form. There's always something you get better at, whether it's physically or the mental part of the game, just knowing where you got to be and your alignment.
100%, man, 100%. One final thing: if there's a coach out there, general manager, a coordinator, somebody out there that's listening, what's your kind of one sentence pitch? What type of player are you? What can you do for their team?
When it comes to me, they're going to get somebody who's going to work hard, show up there every day. It's going to be relentless every play. You're never going to question whether he give it his all each and every play. You're never going to have to question it. You're going to know from the very first snap that, wow, this guy's getting everything he got, whether he's winning the rep or he's on the verge of winning the rep.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And for those that don't know, give us a plug for your socials and your email one time so people can get in touch with you.
Okay, for you can find me at Gmail at jarius.gordon14@gmail.com, and you can also find me at Twitter at jargore. What is it? JAR Gore GOR 93.
Awesome. We appreciate it, man. We appreciate you taking the time out to talk to us today. Listen, I've watched the film. This man's the real deal. So if you're a coach, you're an agent, you're a general manager, you're a coordinator, like I said, make sure you check him out. That's Gordon JAR 93 on X. He's also on Instagram as well. So thank you, man. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. All right. Phenomenal interview. We're wishing him nothing but the best. You know what? Scouts, agents, GMs, anybody that's listening to the episode, get in touch with him. Phenomenal talent. He's keeping, he's working hard. He's keeping busy. Wishing for the best for Jarius Gordon. Finishing off our Big 12 segment. This is always an interesting question because you see Texas Tech putting in a ton of money into their program, and a lot of people can argue like the money's going to run out, and if they don't do anything this year, what is going to happen? Having said that, what Big 12 program, when I was looking through the Big 12, do I think is built for long-term success? Well, the first one's Utah. Culture and identity are already championship tested. They've got a long pedigree of players that have already won championships. Pedigree, it's there. Player development is elite, especially in the trenches. I think the most important spot in football outside of quarterback is your trenches. You got to be able to protect the football or protect your quarterback, and you got to be able to get after the other team's quarterback. They also have a proven track record of winning in a Power 5 setting with consistency year over year. So I think what they're doing is they're not the flashiest team. They're not paying the most amount of NIL dollars, but they're setting a culture, and they're continuously doing so year after year after year. Another one. Oh, sorry. Well, Matthew. Yes, before we move on.
I was just going to add to that with Utah. They got Devin Dampier, quarterback transfer from New Mexico.
Yeah.
Brings a big rushing element to this game. He rushed for over 1,000 yards last year, and he had 19 rushing TDs. So at QB. That's something that Utah can use in their game this year. And it'll go a long way, definitely, for sure. Especially in the Big 12, the new vamped Big 12, where it's completely wide open.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The other team that I feel like is proven for a little bit of a long-term success, and this may come off as a little bit of a sleeper, is UCF. Located in the heart of Florida, one of the richest recruiting bases in the country, a huge enrollment and alumni base. They've got a strong long-term NIL and donor potential there. They've already shown they can compete at the high level of Group 5 power, and they move into the Big 12, which raises their ceiling. And playoff expansion potentially knocking on the door. UCF is going to be a name to keep your eye on. And you know what? I feel like this is a crazy question, and it is Farmageddon in Dublin. There's no way Farmageddon in Dublin is bigger than the Red River rivalry.
No, I mean,
there's not
many games that are like in our previous episode.
Yeah,
Michigan, Ohio State, the Iron Bowl.
Yeah,
like the Egg Bowl. Like there's I mean other
Red
games,
River is Red River. There's no, and I saw this being posted on Reddit, and people are just kind of like, is Farmageddon bigger than Red River? And I'm like, no.
But at the same time, and I know this is mentioned on someone else's, I don't like named rivalries. You know, Farmageddon being overseas. That's a game that needs to be here.
Yeah, it's got like. I saw it, they panned to the crowd, and there was people in purple and there was people in red, and yes, it was happening. Yes, I know that. But it was not to the point of like what it could have been if it was hosted here. So
it's
definitely.
It's a little one-sided now. Iowa State's won the last 3 matchups against Kansas State now.
Yeah.
And Rocco Beck, what a game.
We love Rocco. We love Rocco on this
man.
podcast. Rocco Beck, we love you.
It.
He's doing well. He's doing well. Matthew's a big Rocco fan.
And man, I don't know if you guys saw that Matt Campbell on a 4th and 1 late in the game. That little out pass to the running back to get the first down and hold on to the ball late in the game. That was a gutsy play call. He could have kicked the field goal. They ended up winning the game 24-21, but getting that done was
I like that call.
Was a pretty gutsy call.
Those are the calls
hey,
you gotta
man.
make.
Matt Campbell.
Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes. 3 games. Listen, if you're watching Big 12 football, which you should be this year, 3 games that you need to watch. Kansas versus Kansas State, October 25th. I'll be brief. This is a rivalry. It's in state. It's going to be well traveled to. You're going to see 2 teams that do not like each other. You're going to see 2 fan bases that do not like each other. It's big brother versus little brother. Tune in. Arizona State versus Texas Tech. That's ASU defending Big 12 championships, and the big boys in Texas Tech with a revitalized NIL team coming back. And like with all that momentum, you're going to see fireworks on both sides of the ball there. And finally, TCU versus Utah. We talked a lot about those 2 teams this episode. Early November, TCU takes on Iowa State, and what Vegas already has penciled in as Iowa State's first likely loss of the season. So that'll be huge to watch. I can't wait to watch that coming into the following year. So that's it for the Big 12. And now we've got the ACC. Before we dive into the ACC, which is home to a lot of teams, my favorite coach of all time coached in the ACC, and he had this to say to his players when they complained about asthma.
Are you part of this group? Asthma, Mike? Get over there on that other field and have some asthma. Get out of here.
That's Jimmy Johnson.
I love it.
We ain't got time for no asthma.
There's no
Get
room
that
for that.
asthma
We
out
don't
of here.
get that asthma out of here.
Asthma belongs on the bench.
Yeah. Shout out Jimmy Johnson, former coach of the Cowboys, former coach of the Miami Hurricanes. Oh, I miss you so much. ACC, you know what? Clemson's the favorite. Miami's trying to matter these days. And now we have Bill Belichick coming in. So there's a ton of stuff that's happening. We're going to go right into it. Clemson, Cade Klubnik, and Tom Allen's defense. Cade Klubnik enters the season as the unquestioned leader after an up and down 2024. This is the year Clemson needs him to make the leap from just a talented starter to a game changer. They've got a huge coaching reset on defense. Former Indiana head coach Tom Allen takes over as defensive coordinator. what he's known for is aggressive, swarming schemes. He's going to be asked with restoring Clemson's identity on that side of the ball.
And he was also, to add to that, he was also with Penn State actually running a nickel defense with Abdul Carter.
Yes.
At linebacker position. So
shout out Abdul.
It's going to be interesting to see Abdul Carter now. So what is he going to do with the defense?
Yeah, he's going to have to.
right?
Yeah, he's going to have to go with what he's been kind of given.
Yeah.
And the big questions are obviously going to be like, can Klubnik cut down on those turnovers and those big moments? We're going to find out. He's got big games right away. And then can Allen's system blend quickly with Clemson's personnel, especially in the secondary? You mentioned that. Like, you don't have a generational Abdul Carter to work with. You're going to have to figure out what you're doing. Clemson is the prove-it team. They're talented, but they got to show their blueprint for returning to playoff success. And I think, like, Joel Norris has spoken highly of Clemson when we've talked to him about him, and I think like all the questions are at Clemson.
I mean, there's a lot of people that have Klubnik as winning the Heisman.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, which is like, if you're not a believer, you're like, excuse me, sir, what's going on? Like Jeremiah Smith plays for Ohio. You got Arch Manning in Texas. You got the LSU quarterback. Like, you're gonna pick Klubnik, and they're like, yes, we are. So he's in the voting. He's got the name behind him, so he's definitely there. Speaking of a name, Miami reloading with Carson Beck. Georgia transfer Carson Beck instantly gives Hurricanes one of the ACC's top quarterbacks. Beck's going to have the weapons. Miami's wide receiver corps and backs are among the most athletic in the league. The challenge they're going to find is building chemistry, like make sure they're on the same page. But Beck going there, that's huge.
He's a winner.
Yeah, that's a huge transfer for Miami. Miro Cristobal is under pressure though. Bringing in Beck signals it's a win now time, and anything short of an ACC title is you're getting fired, buddy. I'm sorry. Miami probably has finally found the quarterback though. Like, when you think of Miami, Florida, and you think of a guy that's like on campus and he's the dude and he's the guy, they found their guy.
He's got big shoes to fill, though.
Cam Ward.
Yeah. Big shoes. I don't know. We'll see with Carson Beck. I'm a believer, though.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, what he did at Georgia now, bringing it to Miami, I think, and I'm pretty sure they bolstered up the defense as well. So it's not just the offensive side of the ball that they got to rely on. I know last year they were top offensive team in the ACC, but defensively now they're also they're also really good. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, and my favorite guy, Bill. Bill's here. Bill Belichick's first season. He's patrolling a college sideline for the first time. Chapel Hill. It becomes a media circus. His NFL pedigree and defensive mind is definitely going to reshape the program, but how will 18 and 22-year-olds respond to Belichick's famously rigid style, I would say? He inherits a roster in transition, but his scheme alone could elevate UNC's defensive credibility right away. I say win or lose, every UNC game is a spectacle. This is less about the record and more about seeing how Big Bill adapts to college football.
I fucking hate this.
Oh.
I think it's a circus. You're like, okay, this is how I honestly feel about Bill Belichick coming in to coach for college football. It's like throwing out the first pitch at a baseball game, okay?
Oh, God.
If you do well, everyone's like, meh. And if you fail, if you throw a shit ball that hits the dirt, all the eyeballs on you, you know? We saw this with the departure, of the aftermath with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And now he's bringing in, his son, Stephen Belichick, as defensive coordinator.
Yep.
And the infamous Freddie Kitchens.
But he's bringing his girlfriend.
From Cleveland.
That's what matters the most. He's bringing his girlfriend. Shout out Jordan. Was it Jordan Hudson?
I'm just going to go through Bill Belichick's record after Tom Brady left.
Yep.
I'm going to do this real quick, okay? So Brady left in 2019. And he went to the Bucs. So Belichick was basically quarterbackless. We were struggling to find one in Cam Newton, and then eventually Drake May. So in 2020, they were 7-9. Next year, 2021, 10-7. 2022, 8-9. And then finally, 2023, 4-13. This team hasn't even named a starting QB yet.
No.
They've lost Amarian Hampton.
They have, yes.
I have no faith.
Things
in
are
Bill
fine.
Belichick.
Things
are not fine.
Things will be okay. Big Bill's got it under control. He'll wear his hoodie by November. We'll all be fine, I think. I don't know. Honestly, it's going to be crazy to see like what the spectacle actually comes out to be like, because it's going to be wild.
And
Yeah,
then
I
the
don't-
whole. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I hate North Carolina, as you guys know, to begin with.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but it's the same thing we talked about. You're going to want to watch.
Oh, I ain't missing this.
You're not missing those
The
games.
first game is against TCU. Go Horned
Yeah.
Frogs.
But then on the opposite side of UNC, you know who could actually be a big surprise in the ACC this year? On the other side of North Carolina, you got Duke.
Oh, yeah. There you
know,
go.
Manny Diaz in his second year, coming off a 9-4. I don't know much about the team, but I'm looking at their schedule. Their first test is Illinois.
Yeah.
If they can win that,
That's a tough game.
it is,
Yeah.
but it's a winnable game because it's at home. After that, the only teams they really play of any meaning is Clemson and Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
So Duke has a path to win 9 to 10 games again.
There's a chance. Moving on, we'll get into the games and the games to watch. ACC's Friday night showcase. So the ACC is going all in. They've got a record 12 Friday games this season, including a heavyweight matchup like Clemson, Louisville, and Florida State, North Carolina State. Is the ACC seizing like a brand building opportunity with all these Friday games? Like they know majority of people are going to be watching college football on Saturdays. They're fiending for something on the Friday. This is our time to cash in. Or is this kind of overplaying your hand a little bit? What do you guys think?
I like it.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's another day, more football.
Yeah.
No complaints here.
No complaints.
Keep going, ACC. Keep going. Players to watch. Let's get into it. Cade Klubnik, easy. I don't need to tell you about his stats. He's decorated. He's got over 3,600 yards thrown last season, 36 touchdowns. 63% of his passes were completed. Fuck the stats from last year. Cade Klubnik, whether he shits the bed or goes on to become the next Trevor Lawrence and on a generational tear, that's the guy you watch in this conference. Another guy right up there with him, Carson Beck, transferred from Georgia to Miami. That's huge. Nobody leaves Georgia. No one leaves just a peach state for no reason. He's going to Miami. It's going to be big. How does he gel in with those wide receivers? How does he gel in with that system? Miami, are they going to finally become relevant again? That's going to be huge to watch. And then to your point, Brandon, Duke, Chandler Rivers. Chandler Rivers has been a stalwart for Duke's secondary. In 2024, he earned the first team All-ACC honors after notching interceptions on 3 straight games. That ties a program record. In that season, he logged 58 tackles and a pick 6 in the Birmingham Bowl, where he was named MVP for his performance. This is the guy. When it comes to defense, he's the hawk. If you're watching ACC football, you're watching turnovers happen, it's probably Chandler Rivers doing some sort of magic. So that's a guy to keep your eye on going into it. I know we're kind of running short on time, so we're going to go through this a little bit quickly. Clemson, are they a true playoff threat, or are they a paper tiger in the ACC?
It's funny because there's a lot of people that are high on Clemson. I mean, Dabo's come out and straight up said we're going, he could see the team going undefeated on the way to a championship this season. But then you also have some people that just, they don't believe at all. And I mean, we've already talked about this. LSU coming in week 1. That is a big matchup. So, I mean, that sets up both programs, or, that can be the start of the fall for both programs.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. And in terms of saving the ACC's rep or building its brand, Miami or Florida State, who's got a better chance at that?
I think it's Miami. I think even to double down on this, Miami over Florida State. I think Miami over Clemson. I think Miami.
There's a take, man. There's a take.
I think Miami's going to take the ACC championship.
I would love to see it.
We have ourselves a hot take, ladies and gentlemen.
Are we making a bet?
Well, no.
Oh, is it bet time?
No, fuck no. I'm not taking Clemson over Miami.
So then you agree with me.
I agree with you. That's a hot take.
Yeah.
It's a hot
that's
take,
a hot
but
take,
we
but
are
I got
doubling
faith.
down. We
I
are
got
doubling
faith.
down.
But I love
got
it.
Faith I got faith in Carson Beck. I think you can do this thing.
Yeah.
I just
think
hate Clemson.
there's
That's my
too
reason.
much-
I just hate Clemson.
I do too, and I think Well, there's a true Death Valley, and that's LSU.
Oh, hello.
But there's too much hype around Clemson.
He doesn't like it.
There's
He doesn't
too
like
much.
this.
I don't like it. I think Miami is a sleeper running in. People think, Cam Ward left. We got Carson back.
Yeah.
New system he's got to learn. No, he's going to
No,
take
get him out of
over.
here.
Like if Clemson was
They're
in a
going.
different conference, I mean, the ACC is, you've got your top 3, maybe 4.
It's not as deep as the Big
But
12 when it comes
if you
to
put
it's
them
always wide
in
open.
another division, is Clemson still Clemson?
No.
No, I think a
If
lot
you
of
put
Clemson
it-
is.
If you put him in the SEC,
That's what I mean. Is
I
Clemson
know.
still?
Oh, wow. What a take.
I mean, I'm just a Clemson hater, so
He just hates Clemson. There you go. There you go.
I don't even know why. I just hate them.
I just
Um,
hope they run down that hill.
just trip and fall.
Trip and fall.
Games to watch. I know you guys talked about Miami and Notre Dame. That's going to be a big one, I think. You guys mentioned Clemson, LSU, but Miami, Notre Dame, that's going to be huge. Clemson versus Florida State University. That's probably maybe your ACC title preview, depending on who you cheer for.
Not according to us.
Not according to us, but maybe to the folks over there at Florida State. They probably would pray in for that one. And then you finally got Big Bill's first big test, UNC versus Clemson. That's going to be kind of where Big Bill will be tested for the first time.
I think Bill Belichick, when it comes to college, I think he's going to get humbled.
Real quick.
Dabo Sweeney.
They've been waiting for times like this. They've been waiting. Like they're gonna be waiting for times like this, and it's gonna be great. And I know we talked about Big 12, and not to go back to it, but Shiloh Sanders just got ejected for punching a player in the face. So shout out Shiloh. But yeah, no, I think Bill's gonna get humbled. I think there are a lot of coaches lining up to give Bill Belichick those L's. There's tons of coaches.
Eyes are gonna be on that game. And Dabo is going to be like, not a chance.
Yeah, no, there's going to be eyes on every single Bill Belichick game. And that's the beauty of college football now is like he's brought it upon himself. It's going to be a fucking crazy time to watch, though. Man, we're ripping through these previews. Thank you guys again. Big 12, ACC. We hope you guys tune into more college football this year. We're definitely going to be tuning into more college football with all of these like matchups that we outlined. If there are any questions or inquiries you want to talk about these hot takes that are these fellas have, we got Miami winning the ACC. We got things happening. We got TCU maybe making some noise. Hit our line, redzoneblitzpodcast@gmail.com. That's where we do all the talking. Please hit our line on the socials. If you don't follow us right now, we have Big Bill coaching an entirely different team on our socials. Go to Red Zone Blitz Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and X, and go see who we have Big Bill coaching. Until next time, though, we'll be back with another episode. Thank you so much for joining us. This is G.
Brandon.
And Matthew.
And we're going to see you next time. Take care, have some beers, and chill out.
Later.
Peace.